And again, you know who you are if that's an area that you need to work on things. Jumping to conclusions, this is one of the ones that I'm the best at. And this one really probably kept our marriage from going in a much different light. And so when I left Honey Lake, I did not want to get married again. I just did not. I was at the end of my second marriage, 4 or 5 serious relationships that ended in cheating on the other side, and I just didn't want to go through it again. I was jaded, yes, all of that. But when Tony and I, like I said, we started a friendship first. And when we actually did start having a relationship, we would only see each other about 3 or 4 days every 2 weeks. She would come over, she would drive over to Jacksonville, hang out for a few days with her and her girls, and we'd go to the beach. And when it started actually getting into a relationship, she started really liking me, guys. I mean, she started liking me. A lot. And she started looking at me with these eyes. Like she just, like I was serious. Like I'd look over and I'd catch her staring at me, and she'd just be like, oh. I was like, man, a guy could get used to this. Yeah, and then okay. Well, when we got married, we decided that maybe we would try to get pregnant. Her. And so she quit taking birth control. And the whole time we're talking, I'm teaching her all the things that I've learned at Honey Lake. Though she worked here, has missed a lot of that kind of stuff. And so I'm teaching her, she's going to therapy, she's working on herself, she's becoming her best self as well. She quits taking the birth control for a few weeks, and then we ended up buying a house, getting married, and moving in together for the first time, like all within a couple of weeks. It's just a lot of changes. That paired with her not taking birth control, she kind of had started slipping a little bit like into a depression. She didn't know. It wasn't like she was like, man, I'm depressed. It was just like slowly starting, maybe not a depression, but she was starting to feel depressed. But she couldn't identify it. And I put so much expectation on her, unrealistic expectation. And when I left Honey Lake, I'm not going to be codependent. I'm not going to need validation from someone else. I'm not going to need all of that. And now here I am. I'm at the beginning of our marriage, and I'm back to putting all that pressure on her to make me feel good again. And so I would be like, she would still look at me like she liked me a good amount of time. But I would catch her, and I could just tell she's just like kind of not liking me a whole lot in the moment or something, Hey, where's the googly eyes? I wasn't a jerk like that, but I'm talking, there was a part of my brain that was doing that. Expectation. And so then that unrealistic expectation, I know how unrealistic it is. And so now I'm starting to be quote unquote disappointed. And when we have disappointment, that's when cognitive distortions are invited in. Okay, that's why we need to learn how to manage our expectations. And I say that story to say that I would be like, what's wrong? And she would say, nothing. And I'd be like, no, but what's wrong? Because I can tell something's wrong. She was like, nothing. Gentlemen, if you ask what's wrong enough, you will make something wrong. If you didn't already know that. And I made something wrong. What's wrong? What's wrong? It's like all that probably came out of my mouth for the first. And I'm going to talk on Friday. I'm going to talk about the thing they taught me at Honey Lake that I was able to take to her that got us out of that. But I made the first year of our marriage hard. I was jumping to conclusions a lot. I started jumping to conclusions today. I guess you just can't be in love and be married. Stupid stuff. She's probably cheating on me. But I knew that I was jumping to conclusions. I knew was not the truth. And so because of that, I didn't accuse her of cheating, which of course she wasn't. But that's the old me, the old insecurities could have easily came back out if I didn't recognize that they were lies when they started creeping in. If I didn't recognize that I was jumping to conclusions, then I would have been like, you're cheating on me. Which is what the old insecure me would have done. That's this one. Fortune telling, looking down the line. And I know a lot of us parents do this when our kid is out a few minutes past curfew. Thank God for Life 360. That is nice knowing where your kid is all the time. But they don't answer, you start thinking the worst. We start jumping to conclusions. So being able to recognize what that looks like, and you need to recognize what it looks like for you. Like I hope you see this list and you realize, you think to yourself, oh yeah, I do that. I always say I always. I'm always doing this. All right, we jump ahead. Let's see. Catastrophizing. Making the worst out of small situations. Minimization. This kind of goes along with one of the first ones of disqualifying the positive. Great job on the A. Oh, it was an easy test. I'm not really that talented. I just got lucky. My success is a fluke. I really don't have the skills, what it takes to get here. I struggle with this one a lot, being on this same stage with Shannon and Dr. Jennings and everybody with all those letters next to their name. Blaming. If my kids would just act better, if everybody else would just be doing whatever they're supposed to do, then I'd be all right. Or like, as you can see in my case, why are the cops always finding my weed? Those who've heard my testimony a little bit deeper understand. But I personalized it. I felt like they were picking on me. It wasn't taking accountability for my own stuff. So reframing. Biggest thing is look at the story you're telling to yourself, or noticing the lie. Noticing the lie. Once we notice it, then we can start doing something about it. Once we notice, hey, I'm jumping to conclusions. Now I can start bringing in evidence to know what's really going on. I can start exploring, reframing different possibilities. The way that you can reframe what you've been through, which I'm sure was not pleasant, and I'm sure that some of you have been walking in what felt like hell for a couple of years, if not longer. And the good thing is, if this is like feeling normal and feeling good, and you've been living down here for a long time, then you coming up to here is going to be like someone that's up there living the normal life going way up there. And it's true. Because I say this quite often. I live a life that's far better than I ever thought people could live life. I experience more joy, peace. I didn't even know it was possible to be. And I just don't have like an incredible life. I love my life. I'm just saying it. I'm not sailing the world and, you know, jet setting or anything. Okay? Any thoughts, comments, concerns? Anybody noticing that lies in their brain that line up with these kind of in particular categories? You don't have to share, but just yes.
Is there like a good litmus test for determining, okay, I'm responsible for this as opposed to like someone actually really harmed you? Like you can say for that because it's obviously very difficult, especially like if I'm doing something that works because it's easy. So.
Yeah. I think the more you're going to get okay with yourself, the more you're going to understand what you actually should be responsible for. And the healthier you get, and not trying to like not answer your question, but I think right now, because you're still just trying to figure it all out, but once you've got sifted through everything, I think you'll be able to realize, well, that I don't need anything. I'm not going to take responsibility for that, but I am for this. Okay, I think that's it. What is this last thing? Hold on. Oh, this is good. And I'll put this up for the people that are taking notes. Two things. This first, yet. This is a good way to help you start reframing, adding yet at the end of things. Our relationship isn't getting any better yet. This job I got, I can't do it yet. Okay? Because it comes down to the story we tell ourselves and how we tell ourselves. So if we're telling ourselves this, sometimes just adding the yet shifts the whole, it changes the meaning of the whole phrase. Okay, and then these are some of the things that, for the people that want to write these down, when we've had failure. I'm sure that every successful businessman will tell you that he had to have failures first before he had successes. So just know that every time we've had a failure, you've learned something from it. Doubt, if you don't think you can do something, start challenging yourself to do something. I want to see if I can do it. I just want to see if I can do it. Man, it might be hard for me to do it, but I want to try to see if I can do it. And just know that when you're struggling, there's opportunity. Y'all can start packing up. We're good. When you have problems, man, the dopamine that comes with breakthrough is quite great. Overcoming, but all right, guys.